Hello, friends. Welcome to Two Wavy Girls on the Internet. I'm Alyson Lupo.
And I'm Swavy Curly Courtney. We celebrate all things wavy curly and wonderfully real.
And we play around with all the products and read the back of the bottle so you do not have to. I feel like we have a very exciting show for you guys today, but maybe that's because Courtney and I are very nerdy, if I may speak for you, Courtney, people who love the sciencey side of things. So we thought today we would talk about what it takes to build a wavy or curly hair routine that maybe has like a science foundation to it. So today our topic is called The Science of Simple, Building a Healthy, Curly, or Wavy Hair Routine. And we like to try to keep it simple, even if it is sciencey. So with that, Courtney, I will turn it over to you to start. What are your initial thoughts when it comes to what you consider when you are building a healthy curl routine?
It really is simple. It gets complicated when you hear a bunch of different people's opinions and people approaching this topic from a ton of different angles. But honestly, it is scientific and it is very, very simple. The number one, very first thing you can do to start building your own personal healthy hair routine is to really, really, really pay attention to your hair. And I am talking, take pictures and write notes. And the more detail, the better. And you may be going, Courtney, that's not simple. That's annoying. That is extra. Girl, it is, but you want to learn your hair and get to the healthiest routine possible the fastest. That is the shortcut. Yes, it's extra work for a while. It's not something that I am currently doing after 7 years of washing and styling my hair. I am not writing down everything. I am not taking pictures every wash day, but guess what? I sure did. And I think that is part of the reason I was able to get my hair so healthy so quickly in the beginning.
And when you did it for the second time, I know we've referenced that a couple of times, but when you cut and then bleached the daylights out of your hair, which, let's be honest, it was so cute. It was so fun.
It was fun.
But it was a time where it was like, oh my goodness, like this is, now I know what to do. So this is not going to be as difficult as it was that first time around. Like do you feel like it bounced back way faster because you knew exactly what to do? You don't think that it did? Really? Oh, come on.
Damage. It actually took longer the second time around.
Because
the first time around, it took me 8 months.
Okay.
And the second time around, it took me a full year.
Wow. Okay. But because you knew what to do, you knew that this was not a forever like jail sentence.
Absolutely.
It wasn't a life sentence that your hair would always be that damaged.
Mm-hmm. And I actually learned a whole lot during the second time around, maybe even more than I did the first time around, about the different needs of hair, like when your hair's needs change, how to compensate. It took me a while because I'm kind of thick-headed, and I was like, I know what my hair wants. I know what my hair likes. Well, guess what? Not highlighted hair and Courtney highlighted hair are two very different animals. So
I mean, think about, I was just having a conversation this morning with one of my clients. So I will front load this conversation to let you guys know, if you don't already, that I'm a stylist in Dallas, Texas. I see clients day in and day out. Courtney is a soon to be stylist in Abilene, Texas. She's finishing up cosmetology school. So look for her news early next year about where she will be. So if you guys need curly wavy help, we're your girls for virtual appointments, for in-person appointments. Texas, we're a real big state. It's not too hard to fly in. Come visit us, come see us, drive around. It's cool. It's really pretty here too, I think. So I feel like because you knew it wasn't like a life sentence, you knew what to do, you knew what the end was. I think when people are in the middle of it, they don't know what to do. And so they just throw every single thing at it. I mean, right. Here, let's not cleanse our hair. Let's use a deep conditioner every single wash day. Let's use every bond treatment on the market. Let me use
a leave-in, a curl cream, a custard, a mousse, a gel, a hairspray, a oil.
And it's insane. So we want to simplify this for you guys. And of course, we want to take your questions as well. So please be sure that you know that we are recording this live. I know for those of you who are listening later, please ask your questions. Use the little red question mark. We want to know. I know Linda is saying, I need help. And she's saying, it's very complicated for me. I already gave up. But actually, Linda, you didn't give up because you are actually here and live during our podcast recording. And so we know when you guys tune in live that you actually are here because you want actual help, because you are looking at what's the thing I'm doing wrong. And most of the time it's that you're doing too much. I'm going to tell you the things that I typically look at when I'm seeing a new client for the first time and that person has come in with very damaged hair, broken hair, and is doing all of the things. The first thing we do is simplify. And the way we do that is, hey, what is a conditioner that you can use? What is it? Let me back up. What's a cleanser that you can use that is gentle, but does actually cleanse? We're going to keep a cleanser in the routine. Y'all know, if you listen to me any of the time, I do love Hair Story New Wash Original. It is my very favorite thing to wash my hair with. It is a very rare day, however, that I recommend that to somebody who is brand new to this new way of life. And they're going from using a Suave Daily Clarifying type sulfate heavy shampoo to start. Keep a shampoo in your routine. Like, don't go straight for conditioner washing. I just don't recommend that off the bat because it's too much to wrap your head around in the beginning.
It's such a different beast. You know what?
It's such a different beast.
When I am trying to really, really simplify this goes hand in hand with what you were getting at, Alyson. I like to simplify because people get overwhelmed with the different products, the different product categories. You have wash day buckets that you need to fill. There is a bucket, a container that is your cleanser bucket. Then you have a conditioner bucket. Then you have a styler bucket. That is all you need. Perhaps a leave-in conditioner bucket as well. So you're going to put a cleanser in one bucket. You're going to put a rinse out conditioner in one bucket. Maybe your leave-in conditioner / curl cream, leave-in, leave-on product that is conditioning, and then a styler, and stop. Do you think we need another bucket, Alyson? Is there one more bucket we need?
Well, you know, when you started talking about buckets, I started thinking about those buckets differently in terms of you have a shower bucket, your cleansing and conditioning products, and then you have a styling bucket. You know what I mean? Because to me, that, and I like the way you talked about this idea of buckets. And when you talk about buckets, I'm thinking about like making something compartmentalized so it doesn't feel overwhelming. Is that what you're talking about? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. But my brain went somewhere else entirely into the shower routine and the styling routine buckets, because if I can keep those kind of compartmentalized, it doesn't feel overwhelming. Yeah. But even doing it further down, because you really only need like, yes, sometimes you want to have a gentle cleanser that you use day in, day out. Inner Sense cleansers, whichever one you pick. Those are my favorite. Pick one. It doesn't even matter which one. Start with one of those.
The scalp one is amazing.
The scalp one. Oh, the scalp renew. The newer one is incredible. I am basically only carrying that one now in terms of shampoos because it is so good. If you want links to these products, by the way, I have links in my bio on Instagram and in this video. Courtney also has links in her bio on Instagram and on this YouTube video. So please be sure to support your wavy hair people by shopping our links. So you can find those there, but the shampoo, the cleanser bucket, these are the things that I would put in my cleanser bucket. You've got a regular day in and day out cleanser. You've got a clarifying or chelating shampoo, something that removes hard water if that's a problem for you. And that's really all you need. Maybe in the future, you might pretend that you're going to play with a co-wash or a cleansing conditioner, and that's totally fine. But just start out with those two. That's really all you need to start with. In your conditioner bucket, you're going to break it down and just have your regular daily conditioner. You're going to have a leave-in conditioner. Those are the ones you use day in and day out. And then you'll have a deep conditioner, some kind of deep treatment that you use occasionally. Because when your hair is new to wavy, or if it's just very dry where you live, you need an extra burst of moisture from time to time. But I will tell you that using that deep conditioner every single wash day is more than likely going to weigh your hair down. I do have a few clients that swear by it, so I wouldn't swear it off because everybody is different. But for the most part, that's it. And then, of course, that's it. That's your shower bucket. In my opinion, those are your shower buckets. That's all you need. It sounds like a lot.
Shower, that's all you need. Yep.
But think about it in terms of your skincare. If you've ever been in a Sephora, the people there are like, oh, well, you obviously need a cleanser and a toner and a serum and a retinol and a this and a that. And you get all those things and you start doing them and your skin actually starts looking amazing, right? But we don't want to do the same thing for our hair. We want to do just the bare minimum and we want it to come out looking amazing. But the truth is that your hair needs a few steps, just like your skin needs a few steps. It just doesn't have to be complicated. It might be a few different bottles, but it doesn't have to be complicated.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, I liked this comment and I thought it was something that I had some thoughts about. So let's look, where did it go? Oh my goodness, it's hiding from me already. This is why using the little red question mark is so incredibly helpful when we are live trying to find your questions.
We love that you're all posting so many. Yes, we all love Simple too. Yes, my gosh.
So
yes,
it's extremely expensive to do curly. You know what? I hear you. That is relative because I have gone to the Dollar Tree. I have turned over the bottle. I have read the ingredients labels. You can get a really decent wavy curly wash day routine from the Dollar Tree. It's not terrible. The only issue with my Dollar Trees, at least, is that they rotate the products a lot. It's not like I'm going to be able to buy that same shampoo and conditioner for the next 10 years at my Dollar Tree because that's just how Dollar Tree works. But still, you can get decent products at any price point if you know what you're looking for. It is easier to find better products in a higher price point, but it doesn't have to be outrageously expensive.
Courtney, do you have a TJ Maxx near you?
I do.
Do you ever go in there?
I do.
Do you look at their hair products?
I do.
Okay.
Do I look at their hair products? Come on, Alyson.
I mean, I feel like that's a foolish question, but I was like, okay, wait, why have we not mentioned TJ Maxx? And the reason I mentioned TJ Maxx is because at the beginning of my hair journey, like 2016, 2017, I discovered that they had a lot of products that came from like Sprouts, Natural Grocers, like all the clean, like a Cure, help me out. Who are some of the other brands that they carry there? I can see all their bottles in my mind.
I've seen Curlsmith in TJ Maxx. I've seen Diva Curl. I've seen Giovanni. I have seen really nice high-end products at TJ Maxx for, you guessed it, half or less than half the sticker price.
Yes. So there is a way to do this. There's absolutely a way to do this. I would say to you, Linda, who's in need of dollars help, because everything is so expensive right now. I cannot get over how much our bill is every time we go to the grocery store. Like, this is unheard of. I'm tired of it. I think everybody's tired of it. So yes, because you're buying certain things to do curly, it feels like it can get more expensive. 100% look at Dollar Tree, look at TJ Maxx. Look at these places because they're still the same products and you can get them for way, way cheaper than even your CVS and all of those things. They are expensive. When you get to a point that your hair feels healthier, that's when I really think you can go, okay, I know my hair now. I'm not throwing spaghetti at the wall. I'm not trying to figure out what does my hair like. I've kind of figured that out. A heavier conditioner does not work for my hair. So now I know I can buy that Inner Sense pure conditioner or the Sweet Spirit leave-in conditioner that's super light. My hair is going to like those and they're going to last me a longer time. And I don't have to worry about trying to return things because it didn't work or trying to find a use for it or a person to give it away to because it didn't work for me. Learn your hair in the beginning by playing with all the cheap products. I learned so much doing that way. I know you did too, Courtney. It just works out so well to do that. But I will tell you also, for me, if I could go back in time to where I was, and tell me if you agree, I don't know that I would clarify the same way that I do now. I think that I would really experiment more with using my gentle Inner Sense shampoo twice, because I think that removes most of the stuff. You're laughing, but I think that I would have experimented with that more rather than having a whole other bottle of something to use. Yes, I'm using twice as much sometimes when I'm using it, right? But I think that doing little things like that, instead of trying all the things and just going out there and experimenting with everything, I don't think I would have learned as much because I wouldn't have played with quite as many products. But I think that I would have found good products early on, and I maybe would have springboarded my journey sooner. I don't know, because I didn't go through it twice like you did. So I wonder how that would have happened if I could do it over again.
Alyson, I think you're just not a greasy goose like me. I personally double cleanse always, and this is something I have been doing for a very, very long time. Bless the person, whoever it was, I don't remember, but back in 2018 on the Instagrams, somebody was like, hey, if you tend to be more oily, greasy, double cleanse. And I went, oh, okay.
I can do that. All you needed was permission.
I just needed permission. When it says wash, rinse, repeat on the back of the bottle, it's not a suggestion. They're not trying to make you use more product and get more of your money. They're not out to get you. They're actually trying to help you with the wash, rinse, repeat. So I've been wash, rinse, repeating with clarifying shampoos and with regular shampoos for a very, very long time. I personally have still found that clarifying is necessary in my routine. I may be an extreme case. I may be on the far end of the spectrum because I do have particularly fine hair. Right now, it is very low porosity, so it's extremely prone to buildup. And I live in an area with really hard water.
Yeah, you do.
So
you definitely do.
There is a time and a place for people to still need to clarify, but I am finding that I'm clarifying less than I did in the beginning because I'm kind of dialing in my product amounts. I'm not glopping on too much product every single time I do my hair. So I'm not getting the same buildup. So I'm not having to clarify as often.
And I think that's the key. When you're using, I think that's the key. I don't want you to forget what you were going to say though. I think that is the key, is using products that don't build up. So you have to clarify less, or you don't need as much to clarify.
Now, there was this challenge, Alyson. I don't know if you remember, again, back in either like late 2018 or 2019, why this was a challenge on Instagram, I'm not sure, but it was, you basically lock in your products for 30 days and you refuse to try new products for 30 days. Do you remember what that challenge was called? It had a cute name.
I feel like Atoya has done something like that before in one of her classes, and she called it 3 for 30. But I don't know if this is the same thing. It was basically just use these 3 products for 30 days, but that sounds like the idea.
I am currently scrolling all the way back on my Instagram.
I'm determined to find it. I remember something like that, where it was like, hey, stop messing around and trying all the things. Just try these and see what happens. Because when you do things like that, so here's another point. So number one, get to know your hair is
I found it.
What was it called? What was it called?
It's called Consistent Curls Challenge. And guys, this was so game-changing for me because I refused to change the products. I had to use these same products for 30 days, same shampoo, same conditioner, same leave-in, same curl enhancer, same gel. That I gave myself 5 products to use. And I played around with different product amounts, different application techniques, different stuff and things, different diffusing methods. I was able to actually learn what was happening when I changed variables because I mentally locked myself in, and it kept me from chasing a new product that was magically going to solve all of my curl issues. It actually helped me figure out which styling techniques, how much product, how to properly cleanse. If I didn't double cleanse, let's say I skipped the double cleanse, what that did. What happens if I take conditioner all the way to my roots? What happens if I put conditioner only on my mid-lengths to ends? What's going to happen? If y'all want to bring back consistent curls, please drop us a giant blue heart emoji in the comments, because we can all do consistent curls with each other in December if y'all want.
I think that would be super, super fun. Like a challenge. I think we should do it like, okay, we're recording probably our last podcast. I think it's December 17th. I think that will be episode 10, if I remember the date correctly. we could start this challenge mid-November and just know everybody's doing it with us. And then by the time we do that podcast, that could be like a reporting back. Like we could be collecting everybody's comments. I love this.
Idea.
This is like an off the cuff challenge. Just do it. Let's collect feedback. What did you learn? Oh my God. Okay. Let's do this. Let's like make a worksheet and like put it out there, and it can be like the questions we'll go through. So these are like the ways you evaluate. I'm totally down for this.
So next week, Alyson, we will present to the peoples our products for our Consistent Curls Challenge for the next 4 weeks.
Okay. And P.S. In talking about next week's podcast, we will have a special guest on that podcast. I know. Can I share? I'm ready to share.
Go for it.
It'll be Wes from Hair Story. So he will be talking about the gel. Obviously, the gel will be my only gel. Duh, I'm very boring now. But yes, I am very boring and predictable now. It is okay with me at this point in my life to be boring and predictable. I found the things that I like. So I've gotten to know my hair. I know what it likes. It likes that gel. So I will be using just that gel, and Wes will just be bowled over. I'm sure he will think we have lost our minds, but think it's hilarious. So that will be fun. So to rewind, in terms of keeping it simple, I'm going to recap where we are so far. One of the things that Courtney mentioned from the beginning was number one, get to know your hair. Document so that you have later proof of what it is that you think that you know. Number two, we're talking about products. Put your products in those mental buckets. That will really help you to say, these are the only shampoos I need if you need more than one. These are the only conditioners I need if you need more than one. I frankly love InnerSense Pure Daily Conditioner as a rinse out for a lot of people and as a leave-in. And that doesn't mean leave it in. You can leave it in, however, if that's your vibe and that works for you and you love it.
It's just easier to rinse it out completely and get a consistent small amount, because you're not going to be sure exactly how much you either rinsed out or not. So
and where it is on your head.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did I leave a glob of it in the back, but I did a quick rinse? Is there a one? No, I like to start from scratch. I like to know exactly what's in my hair. You and I are on the same page here. Same page. So I like a conditioner that can do double duty. There's simplicity. So give yourself that mental simplicity. And then the third thing, talking about limiting yourself and not chasing that unicorn product, really get to know your products and what it is that they do. So that's just kind of limiting your variables. I would say for a fourth one, let's go for styling products. Let's get out of the shower. Let's head over to our styling area, whether you keep your products in the shower with you or not, however you choose to style. Be very specific in your styling products based on what it is that you want. If you want fluffy, voluminous, beachy looking curls, you might not need a gel. Or you might want to apply a gel before you apply your cream. I would literally never do that because that is not what I personally like to achieve. I like to achieve a style that is more defined on day one that can then blossom into having more definition in subsequent days. So I'm definitely going to use a gel, and it's definitely going to be my last applied ingredient. So know what products you're reaching for, what it is that you intend for them to do based on what you want your finished look to be, and then know what order to apply them in. And then you can just experiment with quantities. For me, I'm almost always going to use a leave-in, always, non-negotiable, a leave-in conditioner. Although that in my mind is in my shower bucket, but still it's a daily thing, right? Some kind of curl cream or foam, a layering product to give me.
You do both? Leave-in conditioner and curl cream? Oh,
I do that for this reason. Leave-in conditioner and curl cream, generally, this is where we're going to get a little bit sciencey. So if you want to know the why, here's my why. The pH is different. The pH of a conditioner is generally lower than a pH of a styling product. So
even leave-in conditioner that's 4.5, which is the same pH as your hair?
So I should actually be lower. So your rinse out conditioner should usually be formulated like Sweet Spirit, for example, from InnerSense, is formulated at 3.5.
Oh gosh, that's more like a regular rinse out conditioner.
Correct. So you want to use something that is lower because it's mixing with the water that is a pH of 7 on your hair.
It's going to seal that hair cuticle down.
And then you end up in that happy zone. Like those two pHs mix, and you end up in that 4.5 to 5.5 pH, which is where you want to be. So using a leave-in conditioner or a rinse out conditioner as a leave-in to do that gives me the cuticle I want, gives me the lack of tangles that I want, and then the curl cream can give me the protein that I want, the pliability or flexibility that I want, especially if
the conditioning, like
the flexibility, the softness, like we had. If you guys did not listen to our podcast last week with Barbie Dell, it was so much fun. So she is the founder of Curls Monthly. Definitely go back and check that one out. She talked a lot about how she styles for when she styles people on the street as like a fun sort of like gimmicky thing, but like it's so great to watch. She will style their hair based on if their hair feels hard most of the time, like if it's that's, I feel like it's code for a thicker cuticle, a strong cuticle, a coarse cuticle.
She calls it rough finish. So if you touch your hair, it feels rough.
Yes.
Or soft finish if you touch your hair and it feels soft.
But you want
with soft hair, she adds some roughness, some grit, some texture. And if the hair is really, really rough, she's trying to add in softness.
Exactly. So choose your products based on what you want. If your hair feels normally a little bit rough and you want to add softness, a curl cream might be what you want. If your hair is a little bit soft and you want more grit to it, a foam or a mousse under your gel might be something that you want that will add a little bit of hardness or a little bit of grit to your hair. And then you can finish with a gel. That's my take. How would you respond to that?
I love that take. I had no idea that you used curl cream and foam in those ways. Like for me personally, if I ever use a leave-in conditioner and a curl cream on the same wash day, we are weighed down. We are heavy. We are
really?
We are sad. Like immediate buildup from those two put together.
Wow.
Now,
I had no idea.
have done a leave-in conditioner and a foam often. I like this. This is good. Now that you're explaining how you are using those two things makes total sense. But I always went, why on earth is Alyson saying use a leave-in conditioner and a curl cream? Is she crazy? Now I get it.
That's so interesting. And honestly, I do this on almost every client that is in my studio, and it works like a charm every time. But I actually wanted to talk about your video that you released recently, which was that you have a routine that seems like it works on every one of your clients.
Yeah.
I have also been told before that people just believe that stylists have magic hands because everything that we do, like it turns out great.
I don't know about that because like I've only touched 20 heads of hair at this point. That's not that many.
Your 20 heads of hair have responded well to this routine. What is the routine that you're using on them? Elaborate so that people can go back and watch your other video later.
Please feel free to check out my video titled The Routine That Works on Literally Everyone. And it is AG Curl Fresh Shampoo. Alyson, you talk about this being a great clarifying shampoo. It makes sense that somebody walking into the salon for a haircut, I don't know about y'all, but I typically do this to my stylist. I come in with nasty hair. So using a stronger shampoo, really cleanse them well. Curl Fresh conditioner, keep it simple. There's something in my brain that just loves sister shampoos and conditioners. It makes me happy. Then we go in with AG Recoil as our leave-in conditioner / curl cream step. I feel like that is a major hybrid product. It's both a curl cream that lends some style and some hold to the hair while also being conditioning and relatively lightweight. Then I go in with AG Mousse Gel, which is our foam, kind of our mousse, kind of our gel thingy styler. Alyson, have you used that product?
I have. I did not love it. It added too much on me personally. I've only used it on myself.
Doesn't it smell exactly like beer?
Oh my gosh.
It smells
so
like
funny.
Alcohol, like straight beer. I think there might be hops in it.
That's so funny.
But yeah, we get a little boozy with the AG Mousse Gel.
I love it.
Then I just throw on AG Liquid Effects on top. We scrunch, crunch, crunch, scrunch, crunch, crunch, crunch. And then I add a layer of hairspray just for the sake of getting it dry. My Pacifica Big Waves volumizing hairspray doesn't add a whole lot of grit or texture or hold to the hair. It honestly is just a drying alcohol that I can spray on your hair and it will actually make your hair dry. Please and thank you. And it smells amazing. Then we diffuse. And once we are ready to scrunch out the crunch, I've really been loving scrunching out the crunch on everybody with the Verb Ghost Oil. It's so lightweight, very conditioning. I actually used it today to scrunch out the crunch on me because typically I loathe putting an oil on my hair with a burning passion. It's too much. It has not been too much even on my hair today.
So what made you reach for it? Because I know you don't reach for additional things. What made you reach for that oil today?
Well, I wanted to test it out because it's been working on everybody I've tried it on. Typically, the people who are sitting in my chair haven't hyperfixated on hair the same way I have. So there's a little bit more breakage, a little bit less condition to the hair. Like it's under conditioned, it's a little dry, a little rough feeling. And using that oil, I just knew that I kind of needed to have something in my buckets, in my wash day buckets. That was an oil. I needed an oil bucket for washing and styling people's hair at cosmetology school.
I'm so interested in this routine. And I do
I'm
think
going to do this routine on you at sometime, Alyson.
I welcome it. We are going to make this happen. Like maybe we do this in the spring to kick off like season 3 or something where we're like,
I love it. Let's do it.
And washing each other's hair. This we'll make it happen. We'll make it happen. So
what's your wash day routine that you use on literally everyone that works?
Well, I do change up a few things. It depends on the person's hair because I mean, you're in cosmetology school, so you've got to bring your stuff with you every time. I have a room full of products. The things that I generally reach for look like this. I almost wash everybody's hair with Hair Story New Wash. If we're deep conditioning, I reach for the AG Curl Fresh shampoo. That is one of my favorites, just day in and day out for clarifying more deeply. Awesome. But sometimes say it again.
It's awesome. I love it.
It's so awesome. And it smells so good. And it's not too stripping. There's another AG shampoo that I think it's called AG Naturals or something. I can't remember what it is.
Strong.
It is strong. It is way drying. And I used that one initially and was like, this stuff is horrible. Way drying. My hair feels like straw, which is not what I'm really going for, like before I deep condition, unless somebody's really got some junk to get off of their hair. But like, I don't really always want that. So I reach for those. Occasionally, I mean, I have a lot of interstitial shampoos too. So if we're just doing a really quick, but it's an oily person's hair, like, you know, like you, they need a shampoo and I know that they're a little oilier. I'm going to reach for the Intersense Pure shampoo or the Scalp Renew shampoo. So like I kind of look at their needs. What do I know about their last wash day? Was it filled with silicones? Did they just get their color done? Like I take those things into account, right? But for me, day in and day out, New Wash Original, almost 90%, 99% of the time for me personally. And then conditioner, obviously I'm not going to use a separate conditioner if I use the Hair Story New Wash, but it's almost always a Intersense, probably the color or the hydrating conditioner, one of the two. And PS, their new repair mask, oh so my gosh, it's outstanding. It is by far the best deep treatment in their line and in across most lines that I've used. I'm really impressed with that formulation. So we'll be talking about that one more later. Actually meant to bring that as my product spotlight, but I forgot it in my studio because, you know, I used it at home to try it and go, this is awesome, but I don't deserve to have nice things. So then it goes to my studio where I'd use it on the people because, you know, I talked about that last time in our podcast. I'm sticking with it. But what I find works for every single person gel wise, I do mix it up, but what works for every single person is either the Hair Story gel that is new or Jessie Curl Spiralicious.
Yep.
I mean, both of those work on everybody. The Hair Story gel is newer and I'm still testing on people, but it's working beautifully on everybody I've used it on. But for the long term, Jessie Curl Spiralicious has been my go-to gel. No question. It's moisturizing, it's curl enhancing, it is environmental, humidity fighting. It is all of the things. And it's just amazing.
Absolutely. All right. Once and for all, are natural products better? This question, I have so many feelings about this because natural products, what is a natural product?
And what is better?
And what does better mean? Usually when people are talking about this, I'm going to make some assumptions. So if I'm assuming wrong, please forgive me. But when people say are natural products better, there is this inherent fear attached to chemicals. And the chemicals are going to hurt me and harm me and cause me to die. So I must use all natural products made from spit and dirt in order to avoid chemicals and stay safe and be more natural and more healthy. Guys, I went so far down this particular rabbit hole. This is not a healthy mental space. We exist on planet Earth. We are inherently going to have to trust other humans with our products. The natural product movement tends to be a marketing gimmick that is playing on your fears. That being said, do I love AG products? Yes. Are they slightly more natural? Yes. What does natural mean? Alyson, take it away. What are your thoughts?
Oh, it is such a rabbit hole. And I went down this one myself many years ago, just researching, trying to understand. And I came to the conclusion that while I didn't think that all of these ingredients necessarily were going to hurt me, there were certain things that I personally wanted to avoid based on things that I had read, things that I had heard. And so I decided to be selective in the ingredients that I chose to pay attention to. Because if you try to pay attention to every single ingredient, you will, like Courtney said, enter an unhealthy mental space and drive yourself completely insane. So the things that I choose to try to avoid, generally speaking, EDTA, I sometimes try to avoid because I know that environmentally it does not break down once it goes into our water system. Okay, that's just a personal choice. Does it harm me in any way? Not directly, not necessarily, right? It's a personal choice.
Right.
I read a while back that PEGs in large quantities could be associated with cancer. Okay, well, I don't always avoid PEGs, but if it's a product that like I'm not totally head over heels in love with, then I don't use that one if it has PEGs in it. Okay. I mentioned this because none of these are hard and fast rules.
Right.
You know, so I think this is definitely a deeply, deeply personal question. Remember that everything is a chemical. You are a chemical. You are literally made of actual chemicals.
Water is a chemical. Water is a chemical.
Water is a chemical. But you have to ask yourself, like, what is it that I'm trying to avoid? If I'm trying to avoid carcinogens entering my body, then what are those specific ingredients? Name your top 3 and then try to avoid those. But in order to stay in a mental healthy space, for sure. I don't know that they are better. Can natural products be better for the environment? Sure. Can they be better for your body? Sure. But it's
you know what else is natural, Alyson?
Say that again.
You know what else is natural?
What's natural?
Poison ivy. It's organic, free-range, wild caught. Is this good? Is this better? No. The thing is it sounds to me like you are holding this fairly loosely. If an ingredient does have EDTA, you don't flat avoid it completely. You may use it less. You may not reach for it as often. But like if it's doing other things that are extremely helpful to you, great. Are you allergic to the itchy M's? Those are chemicals used as preservatives that we love. We like preservatives. No mold, no fungus, no bacteria growing in our products. We like this. Preservative is not a dirty word. So you might be allergic to itchy M's. Maybe avoid products with itchy M's because you have an allergic reaction to it. All that being said, don't drive yourself crazy. You don't have to completely spin your wheels to find the clean products. And a quick note about websites like I think it's EWG. Guys, if a brand can pay for the label of like EWG approved, then it's meaningless.
It's a business.
It's a business. It is not keeping you safe. It is not a way to altruistically check the ingredients on your thing and see if the product that you're using is toxic or not. Please keep in mind that these companies that are producing toxic, air quotes, not actually toxic products they are actually trying to serve their customers because that's how they make more money. If they make their customers happy, then they make more money. And that is what a company wants to do. They don't want to secretly harm their customers by putting nasty ingredients in it that are cheap, that are somehow going to, make their bottom line better. No, that doesn't serve them well in the long term. So the natural product movement is simply a marketing gimmick trying to play on your fear. Keep that in mind when we're having the conversation about, is natural better?
And if you were a client of mine, I would also want to dig into better. What does better mean to you? Does that mean better for my body? Does that mean better for my hair? Does that mean I like the way it looks better?
Mm-hmm.
All of those things. I really try to dig in my client consultations to those words. Like, what does that actually mean to you? So that then we can come up with products that fit what it is that you want to achieve and also help you like check those boxes of personal goals that you have.
I get really hot and bothered with that question because I feel like my eyes were really, really opened when I saw some documentaries come out. Oh shoot, I can't remember the name of the documentary, but it was several years ago. I believe like 3 years ago, this documentary came out on Hulu talking about how companies were using ingredients knowingly to harm their customers. But I actually knew some of the people in the documentary and I actually knew some of their backstory and I knew it wasn't true.
Oh my gosh.
So like you just, oh, okay, this is just marketing. This is just trying to play on my fear to try and get me to buy specific products and avoid specific ingredients just so that they can capture my dollars. I love this from Blue Froggy 99. I'd make a trip to Texas just to have either one of you cut and style my hair. Either one of us would be insanely honored to get to see you in person and hug your neck. If you're down for hugs, I'm a hugger, and play with your curls. It doesn't have to be, like, okay, now you're locked in and you're my client forever and for always. If I only get to see you once, girl, I am thrilled.
Yes, come on down. Come on down. Come hang out. We're super fun.
We are fun. Courtney gets spicy when it comes to the natural product question. But I'm really very nice
all the time.
All
right, Cindy Rock has got a question. She says, I'm low porosity and very protein sensitive. Is Hair Story good? Feel like those are two different questions. Hair Story is fantastic. Low porosity, yes, I think Hair Story is excellent. But Hair Story does use proteins in most of their products. So there's protein in the cleanser, but the cleanser is also very moisturizing. They use protein in their hair balm, but hair balm is also very moisturizing. So are you very protein sensitive? Is it to certain proteins? If we want to get really nerdy, we can talk about the molecular size of certain proteins and like the large proteins. I've always said that the large molecule proteins are the ones that you really feel like on your hair that make it feel like it's got grit or some stiffness to it. Those are the ones that you would like find like in a salad, like those are like your wheat protein, your soy protein, but your smaller proteins like your rice protein, your quinoa protein, your silk protein, those are your smaller molecule proteins. Yes, Hair Story uses a mix of those particular ingredients. InnerSense does as well. I would say give them a shot, but know that if you want a seriously protein-free routine, like if that works the best for you, one of my favorite brands to look at is Jessie Curl. Jessie Curl was founded by a lady named Jess McGinty, who she herself had naturally red, very wiry, rough hair, and she wanted it to be softer all of the time. And so she used her products that she created in her kitchen and started a company, and 99% of them are completely protein free. So that would actually be the line that I would reach for. But I do reach for things like hair balm in conjunction with Jessie Curl Spiralicious, even on my coarser clients, because it helps to soften their hair while at the same time they're getting the cream and the gel from the Jessie Curl Spiralicious. So it's like an ultra soft combo with hold and curl enhancement. So that's why I'm like, don't rule out a whole brand, but if you know for sure and you're still experimenting, definitely look at Jessie Curl, because I think that's a great, great line for people that are protein sensitive.
Totally 1000% agree. I do know, because I play around with the New Wash Deep. As somebody with really low porosity hair, that one tends to work better for me than the New Wash Original. And as from what I remember, New Wash Deep, the US formulation, is protein free. So for what it's worth,
I believe
there's
that's
that information.
There it is. And they also have the, I don't know if the rich formulation is protein free. I would have to look, but the rich formulation also contains avocado oil, which is extra softening for hair that is a little bit more coarse or strong.
I have fine, low porosity, wavy curly hair with bits of gray. How do I know if I need protein or not? This is a question from Betsy.
Oh, Betsy, yes, you need protein. You said fine, you need protein. I mean, that is my ultimate take. I don't really, if you had high porosity hair, I would say, yes, you need protein. Even if you told me that your hair was coarse. And the reason for that is it tells me that in your cuticle, you've got little bits and pieces that are missing from damage, or it's just the way that your hair grows. And so porosity can be a driver of needing protein, but fine hair generally just does not have as many layers of cuticle, which is protein, which is keratin protein. So fine hair can have as few as 7 delicate little layers of keratin protein that make up its exterior shell, right? Whereas if you're someone that has a stronger, coarser, or rougher hair type, you might have up to 18. 18. Let me say that for the people in the back. 18. That's tightly compacted layers of keratin protein that make up your cuticle. And that is why some people are like, I'm protein sensitive, because when you put more of the stuff on my hair that my hair already has a lot of, it's like, I'm in a straitjacket. I can't move.
Yep.
So that's it. If you tell me you have fine hair, chances are your hair is hungry for protein all the time. So just give it the steak dinner that it deserves.
Absolutely. 10 out of 10 agree. There is another way to approach this like protein moisture balance issue that actually helped it make more sense for me in a way, because we started reading ingredients labels and only looking for proteins and making sure that that protein was higher up on the ingredients label. That way we knew it had more protein in it. But basically then you are doing a scientific formula every single time you wash your hair, and that can get exhausting. But if you can see and realize that fine hair, which inherently does like more protein because there are less layers of hair cuticle, it needs less conditioning than hair that is really, really coarse. And products that contain a hydrolyzed blank protein or keratin or biotin or some form of amino acids, those are all proteins. Those tend to be less conditioning. They're formulated to be lighter weight and not as heavy. So they tend to work better on people with fine hair. Looking at it from the level of conditioning, from the level of weight that the product adds, can be sometimes easier than trying to read an ingredients label every single time you're doing your hair and making sure that you have at least 4 products that contain a hydrolyzed protein within the first 10 of the ingredients on the ingredients label.
I love that take, and it's so relevant to this question as well. So Mags has shared that she paid too much attention to the fact that her hair was really fine without understanding it also really struggles to hold on to moisture. There you go. She loves leave-ins like kinky curly and custards, which makes all the sense in the world. So Mags, in keeping it simple, you have paid attention to your hair. You've learned what your hair likes. Yes, it struggles to hold on to moisture because, gosh, I find that sometimes let me rewind. Fine, high porosity, low density hair. Have you had one of those clients yet, Curly? Wavy Curly, Courtney. Those are the most challenging. That's the most challenging combination of hair to work with because they want moisture. And it's hard to get it without being weighed down. They want density, which is a difficult thing to look at when your density is naturally lower. So it takes a really tricky combination of things, a really specific hand with a haircut, a lot of really specific choice with products. So I like your take on that. I like your take on looking at proteins in terms of their moisture rather than their strength.
Because proteins are actually conditioning. They form a film on the hair like conditioning ingredients do. So they can be used in product formulations
Absolutely.
as a conditioning agent, which completely broke my brain when I learned that piece of information, because I had always categorized proteins as being like lending structure and strength to the hair. Never considered that they're also conditioning. They're just a lighter form of conditioning rather than a heavy moisturizing alcohol, butter, seed oil, something like that.
Yeah, when I learned that, it made all the sense in the world, because I also was seeing that proteins were being used in place of silicones. And I could not understand why until I realized it was because they are water soluble, unlike silicones, but they form a protective shield on the hair, like silicones, that retains moisture. It's not all of them, but very specific ones, which I thought was fantastic.
So continuing with Mags, she does ask, do we have any product recommendations for fine hair that loses moisture regardless of the time of year or weather? Kinky Curly, Not Today Leave-In, and Kinky Curly Curling Custard. Give those a shot because they're relatively easily accessible. You can run out to your local Target right now and grab them. Or I think some Walmarts carry it too. I haven't seen it in my personal Walmart, maybe some CVS or Walgreens, and take a shot at those. See how
and she's already using those. She loves the Kinky Curly leave-in and the custard. So she's already on the right track. So
I thought
that's
that was somebody else who mentioned those. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, so I think so, Mags, I want to tell you, I think you're completely on the right track there. I think that's fantastic. The only thing that I would probably add, if you're not already doing it, now I know Courtney does not use a leave-in conditioner and a curl cream, but if you were to use something really light, Mags, like the InnerSense Sweet Spirit Curl Cream, because its pH is so low, it can really help with, again, like slamming that cuticle shut, maintaining some moisture, adding some shine, and then you use your Kinky Curly custard on top of that. Maybe not 2 leave-ins, but I really, really always recommend Sweet Spirit to people that have especially fine hair that's really thirsty, because it does not weigh the hair down. And it works really well too as a refresh product for just about everybody.
I seem to have more frizz at the roots and a mixture of thick, coarse hair. Any recommendations? Put conditioner on your roots. Brush your conditioner through your hair every single time you wash and condition your hair. Get you a wet brush or something that has incredibly bendy bristles. And after you've thoroughly finger detangled your hair with that conditioner, brush it through from root to tip. It will not make your roots more greasy. Me, speaking as somebody who is very oily greasy, let's take a quick look at my roots.
Did you wash this morning?
I brushed conditioner through my hair. Does this look greasy or does this just look shiny?
It looks shiny. It doesn't look greasy to me at all.
Precisely. Some people, I got a rash of YouTube comments for a while where people were like, your hair looks so greasy. Guys, that's shine. That's not.
No, they don't understand that your hair is blindingly shiny.
It's just very shiny. So I am very oily greasy. I brush conditioner all the way to my roots. It has completely eliminated my root frizz. Hasn't made my roots greasy. Please condition your roots. It's hair too. It wants to be conditioned.
I would say also for our friend here that has frizz at the roots, but also has thick and coarse hair, I want you to know that there's a very good chance that that frizz that you're seeing at the top of your head is actually new baby hairs coming in.
Woo-hoo!
I see this. Yeah, this is cause to celebrate. Let's celebrate this. Like, I know that they're annoying, but like, hello, welcome to the family, friends. Like, we're glad that you're here. So that's my first thought is, take a look at that hair up close. Is it short? Because if those little hairs are short, it's new hair coming in. And if you've started on any kind of like multivitamin, Nutrafol, whatever, let's just say you got through a stressful point in your life and now you are feeling good again. It could just be new hair coming in like in droves. Like you might have a lot. if this is something you see all the time consistently, I do see this in my clients that are more coarse or strong haired. Their new hair, we all have new hair coming in all the time. So their hair just tends to stand straight up until it has enough weight on it to get some bend, and then it starts to fall down. My number one product recommendation for those clients, Courtney, you probably haven't gotten your hands on this product yet because you personally wouldn't use it, but you might love it for your coarse haired clients later on, is the Inner Sense Whipped Piece texturizing. It's got such a long name.
Yeah.
Inner Piece Whipped Texturizer. Okay, so the Inner Piece Whipped Texturizer is like a pomade, but it's like a fluffy pomade. And so you take a little bit of that in your hands and you emulsify it really well till your hands are like white, and it looks scary. But if you then cascade that very gently across the canopy of your hair and work it in, you won't see any of the white, and it helps those little hairs just like lay down. It kind of locks them in. It leaves you with a lot of nice shine, but not like a hard gel shine, and it doesn't look greasy. It's the perfect texture, and it is my number one recommendation for all of my clients that have coarse hair that stands straight up when it comes in.
This is a really interesting question, and I have some serious thoughts. Thoughts on protein drops to add into other products. I have fine wavy hair that is lacking protein, but overwhelmed by trying to pick a styling gel that is not too fragranced or heavy. You are in a very unique situation in your situation, and I might just maybe give you Wavy Curly Courtney permission to do this because of the parameters that you've given. But for everybody else listening, no, you may not put protein drops in your hair care products. And this is why. If you're anything like me, you think a little is good, more must be better. I bought protein drops and was adding them into my products a lot. Guess what? I went too far. Who knew? Who knew Courtney would go too far? And I broke my hair off. I sent my hair into such protein overload. It was so dry and stiff that I had to cut off 4 inches from my hair because of a protein overload. If you are good and you promise me, you cross your little heart and hope to die that you are only going to add like 4 drops, then fine. You can try.
I will give the people permission because I have done this also, Courtney. And I actually had a very different take than you did. I did not know about your take. I didn't know you broke your hair off.
Yeah.
But there is the idea of a little is great, more must be better is obviously not. We all know, but it's just sometimes it's so good. It's like, I have 1 pair of Birkenstocks. I must need 6 more. You don't need 17 pairs of Birkenstocks. You really only need 1. They're all really comfortable. But that aside, I definitely try the protein drops. I will give you permission as well, but I would say don't put them in your styling products. That to me seems like a recipe for disaster, because your gel has a really specific texture that is going to have implications for what your hair is going to look like when it is dry and finished, right? Mm-hmm. So like I would say, add your protein drops 3 or 4 at the most. I back up what Curly says, at the most. Why am I calling you Curly today? My brain is so fried.
I'm not mad at it.
Because you're so extra curly today, y'all. If you are not watching this, you should definitely at least pull the video up later on if you're just listening, because Curly is curly today. I'm just going to call you Curly for the rest of the conversation. Courtney is very curly today. So put like 3 or 4 drops of that protein liquid into your conditioner. Literally your rinse out conditioner. This is your experiment. This would be my take. Your experiment is put it in your rinse out conditioner, bathe. I tell all my clients, clip it up, bathe, shave, sing a song so that your conditioner is on your hair for like 3 minutes. You're not accidentally rinsing it out when you're rinsing off your back and everything else, right? So like make sure it's on your hair for about 3 minutes, rinse it out, see what happens. If that's good, just keep that up. Don't do anything else. But if you want it to stay in your hair in a product, put like 2 drops in your leave-in conditioner. Then you've got it staying on your hair. It's in a product that has no real bearing on the finished look of your hair other than moisture. And then you can go about your day with like a gel. I wouldn't put it in a gel. I think that could really mess up the formulation as you're emulsifying it. That could do some really weird things to that product.
I did only ever put it in my leave-in conditioner for that reason. I felt like it would get into the leave-in conditioner better. So totally agree with that. Let's not put it in our gels. Let's put it in our leave-in conditioner. And please, 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 pinky curly, swavy curly promise, you are not going to use more than 3 to 4 drops.
No more than 3 to 4 drops. Okay, I popped up one more question here that we have time for today. And I love this one because I think it goes back to our original topic of keeping things simple. Guys, find yourself, if you can, a curly specialized hairstylist, someone who specializes at least in dry cutting, even if they don't do curly or wavy, that's not their specialty, but they do dry cutting. Go to a barber and get a dry cut for a couple of reasons. So Crazy Cora here, this is her name. I'm not just calling her crazy for those of you who are reading this on the screen. She said that when I went to my hairdresser and I asked her to cut round layers, she doesn't know how to cut curly or wavy hair. She doesn't know what that means. Can you please describe what rounded layers mean? So rounded layers, truly, when you're cutting curly and wavy hair, I think the most important thing is I personally really love cutting dry because I can see the hair changing as I cut it. When I cut a little bit of hair, like I had a client this morning, and when I was cutting her very swavy hair, it was bouncing up as I was cutting it. If I had been cutting that hair wet and just pulling it out straight, it would have come out so much shorter, even as a swavy, when I dried her hair. So I can do a couple things. I can tell what that spring factor really looks like. And I know that if their spring factor is, let's say 2 inches, meaning that if I pull the hair straight from where it is and pull it down and then release it, how much does it bounce up? I'm going to add for a swavy at least another 1/2 inch to 1 inch to that, because it's going to spring up even more when that additional weight is off of the hair. But I can also account for where the ends of their hair actually live based on where their cowlicks direct their hair. These things are so important when it comes to dry cutting because you can make sense of the way the hair naturally lives and you're cutting it in its natural state. But let's get back to your actual question. What does rounded layers mean? Rounded layers generally means that you want a rounded shape at the end of this haircut. So that means taking the hair and over directing it from its point of origin and cutting it in that direction and then letting it fall back to where it lives. I do round layers on clients all the time. They come out beautifully. I rarely do blended layers. However, they're almost always PC layers that make sense for where their individual curls live. Like these little bits of hair on my head, if you happen to be watching this, all tend to clump together, right? But I want to know, like, their origin might not all be in the same place. You can see if you look at my head, it's like a little triangle formation at the top of my head. But I'm going to cut that together on a client's head because they naturally want to clump together. If I separate those and cut them all differently, that hair is not going to clump the same way. So find you a wavy curly hairstylist. Courtney, jump in. Please stop me. I could go on about this all day long, but really find somebody who dry cuts.
So if I'm going to try and tell a hairdresser what I mean when I say rounded layers, this is what I mean. Let's take it back to cosmetology school. You start by cutting your 0. You don't elevate the hair at all. You cut it at a 0. You have the client tilt their head down. Why? So that when you cut a straight line and then they pick their head back up, oh, wow, there's a rounded shape in the back of the head. Then we're going to cut layers into the hair. We're going to start with a 45. Then we're going to elevate more and we're going to go to a 90. And then we're going to elevate more and we're going to cut it at a 180. And you just kind of travel and follow the shape of the head with the layers. So I mean 45 degrees. I mean 90 degrees. I mean 180 degrees. If you're not watching, I'm holding my hair straight up for 180. This is how they taught us in cosmetology school, how to cut layers into the hair. And if I'm trying to explain what I'm trying to do, it's that. So that's what I mean by rounded layers. I basically just want everybody to leave with a perfectly round cotton ball on their head when I'm done with them. I love rounded shapes for all types of waves and curls. I think it looks really, really cute.
Okay, I'm going to pop up one last question because everybody, oh gosh, there's so many good questions.
There's so many good questions. I was looking at it while you were answering
through all these and they're so really good. I'm like, let's find one doozy. Oh my goodness.
There's a bunch of doozies.
I know there are so many doozies. Okay, let's get at it. Pick one, Courtney.
There we go. Last one. Miss Sassy says, what are your thoughts on putting oil on wet hair?
That's what I was looking at.
I have seen some videos on TikTok saying it's horrible even to put it on dry hair. So I don't know. Every few years, this conversation about oil being the enemy comes around. And this is another thing that gets under my skin because we villainize ingredients. Sulfates are bad. Silicones are bad. Drying alcohols are bad. Itchy ends are bad. Parabens are going to kill you tomorrow if you use one single paraben. And oil is bad because water and oil don't mix. Oh, really? Oh, really, Mr. Smarty Pants? Then how do you explain to me mayonnaise? Because mayonnaise is water and oil mixed.
It's really hard to make, though. I've tried.
Oh, really? I'll tell. We need to chat. I have a good recipe. Yeah. Anyway, most of the products, when you pick up your gel or your leave-in conditioner, let's say leave-in conditioner because that makes more sense. You look at the back of the bottle of the leave-in conditioner. What's the first ingredient? It's always water. And guess what? If you keep reading, 9 times out of 10, there's going to be some form of oil in that product, in that ingredients label somewhere. But when you squeeze the leave-in conditioner into your hand, is it broken? Are you having like runny water and goopy oil? No, it's a smooth, creamy, homogeneous consistency. Why? Why do you ask? It's because they're using emulsifiers. Emulsifiers are really cool scientific ingredients that have a non-polar and a polar side that actually help water and oil mix. No, putting oil on wet hair is not a bad thing. There is this technique called the log method. I've tried it. I have a video on my YouTube channel about it. I actually think there are people that this is going to be really helpful for. It's where you do your leave-in conditioner, then you add a layer of oil, and then you add your gel. Log, leave-in, oil, gel. It works great if you have hair that dehydrates and gets under-conditioned very, very quickly. Like you washed your hair yesterday and it felt okay yesterday, but today it feels like a bale of hay. Maybe adding an oil in between your leave-in conditioner and your gel might be helpful in keeping your hair from getting that dry, rough texture on day 2 and day 3. Alyson?
Questions like this, I also think to myself, I mean, number one, don't challenge the science teacher because she's going to come at you. Okay.
She will eat you.
Courtney, the science teacher, will eat you. But I also think to myself, think about all the cultures of people for literal centuries that have put oils on their hair and grew it very long and healthy and everything else. Like I don't personally love oils on my hair. I don't use oils on most of my clients because it's a matter of personal preference. Thanks. But I would never say that it's horrible to use it or it's horrible to put it on dry hair. It's just not my favorite. And culturally, I didn't grow up with that, but so many cultures still do that to this day. And I really do not see any super negative consequences from doing that. Now, is it a silly?
Alyson, have you had somebody come into your studio and sit in your chair and you look at their hair and you go, oh my gosh, why is there raw shea butter on this person's hair? Like so much oil in their hair that you're like, wow, did you just do an oil mask at home? Have you had that happen?
I haven't had anybody like that. No.
Same. But then again, I'm inexperienced. Most of the people I see raising the flag that says oils are terrible and like championing never using oil on their hair, it's usually a hairdresser who has had clients come in with severe oil buildup on their hair because they're overdoing it. They're grabbing palmfuls of raw coconut oil and smearing it everywhere all over their hair. If you do anything too much, if you take anything too far, you're going to have a problem. So no, tiny bits of oil on your hair is not a bad thing. If you're dumping half the bottle of avocado oil on your head, then yeah, you went too far.
So Courtney, would you say it's safe to say that maybe our final tip for this particular episode would be everything in moderation?
I like it. Alyson, that is a fantastic way to wrap up this episode. Everything in moderation. Thank you so much to each and every single one of you who has come and hung out with us on this lovely Wednesday afternoon. We cannot wait to see you in the next episode.
We're so grateful to you guys. We will see you guys very, very soon. And as always, I know we didn't get to answer all of your questions. So please take your questions that you did not get to ask, post them on this video, as it is going to live on YouTube, on my channel and on Courtney's channel for eternity, as far as we know. So please go ahead and post your questions there, and we will go back and type in your answers and answer your questions as we are able to. And by the way, Courtney, I see a ton of blue hearts on here, people who are really interested in doing the 30-day product challenge. So guys, we will come out with some kind of like worksheet for those of you who want to participate, and it'll be super fun. And we'll just do this together. Tell your friends, let's get a big group doing it. And we'll provide a little update in our next podcast. And we will see you guys with Wes Sharpton from Hair Story next week. I believe that's the 14th, if I remember my days correctly. We will see you guys on Wednesday. Did I remember the day right? Did I get it right?
It's the 12th.
It's the 12th. Okay. Thank God for keeping me honest. We'll see you guys on the 12th, 1:00 p.m. Central Standard Time. See you guys there. Have a great rest of your week, and we'll see you soon. Bye, guys.
Bye.